Hello. My Samsung dryer is not heating up anymore. It's only a couple years old, but I think the heating elements went out on it. I'm going to try to clean out the duct, see if that was the problem. Maybe the duct was plugged up and caused it to overheat. But anyhow, I got some parts, and let's see what they look like. Came off of Amazon, and it's supposed to be good for this part number dryer. Looks like they sent me the thermal switches, and there's the heating element. So looks like they sent all the thermistor and the thermal switch and whatever else is in here. So I need to take it apart now and test the parts to see which part is actually bad, but it's most likely the heating coil. So alright, get back with you. Okay, got the dryer out of its spot, swept up the floor underneath of it. Let me show you what we're going to do here to get this thing opened up. That way you guys can learn how to do it also. There's some screws here on the back. I'm going to take those off, and this top piece will come off. I haven't actually done it, so I need to get into it and see how it goes. And then this piece will be removed, and then the whole front of the dryer will be removed. You got to take out all the screws, I guess, but not the door. You don't have to take the door off. And then we'll separate it. Then I'll continue this and show you. Okay, we're going to take this dryer apart now. Step one, remove these screws out of the back here. 2 places. And then this top piece, you got to slide it back to you a little bit. And that's it. It's popped off. That's how you access that. Alright, let me show you how I got this electronics panel off. I initially took out some screws here and popped these tabs, but I don't believe that was necessary. I'm just gonna pop that back in place. Looks like that can stay. What I actually had to do was basically on each corner of this, I had to pull out on the corner, and it popped the tab on that side, and I pulled out and popped the tab on this side, and once I got both sides popped, I was able to lift straight up with it. It was a little bit of a fight, but it lifts straight out. You see these tabs just go in these holes here. So, and now I gotta disconnect the wires, that's pretty straightforward. This one's got tape on it, so I'm gonna have to remove that tape probably to disconnect that. So, alright, let me get back to it. Alright, let me give you a close-up on disconnecting these wires here. For this plug here, I had to press this little tab down. See, it moves, and that one separated pretty easy. The one that was taped, I didn't actually have to remove the tape. I was able to just push that tab there and separate it. So, pretty simple. Just showing you how to do it in case you haven't done that before. Now the electronics panel is off. I'm going to start removing all the screws here on top. And you have to actually press these tabs in, it looks like, probably with a screwdriver, to get this to actually pop loose after you remove all the screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all across the top, and then pop these tabs in, and this panel should come off. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me give you a close-up of how to pop this tab. You just push it in, and you see the front jumped off of it. So simple as that. I still got a few more screws to remove. These screws on the front from the factory have some Loctite on them. So you had to push a pretty significant amount of force to break them loose, and then it takes quite a force even running them out because of that Loctite. So just to let you know, put a lot of pressure on these screws to remove them so you don't strip out the heads. Now that the screws are out, the door's still on there. There is a connector here underneath. Let's see how that comes out. It's got some sort of locking mechanism I gotta figure out. Let me figure it out and then I'll show you how I did it. Okay, my mistake. There actually was no locking mechanism. I was able to just pull that straight out. Just took a little bit of force. Okay everybody, I got the front of the dryer off now. And the heating element and thermal sensors and all that stuff, thermistor, is all down here on this side. There you can see it back in there. So I'm gonna have to pull out. There's a screw there, there's a screw there, and on the back side there's a screw, which you're gonna have to reach around there blindly with a small screwdriver and remove that screw back there. You're not actually gonna be able to see it, just gonna have to feel for it. So let me pull this out. Those screws were pretty tight. Be careful not to strip those out. You gotta put quite a bit of force on them to break them loose. And they're just small sheet metal style screws. They've probably been cooked in there over the last couple years with all the heat. See if I can get this thing out of here. It's a pretty close fit. I'm probably gonna have to take the wires off of that side right there. See those connections? Let me pull those off. Let's see. Just remember where they went. Red is on top, blue is on the bottom. Probably good to take a picture. I'm gonna need my two hands. Give me just a second. Did you hear that struggle? Those were hard to get off. I had to work them back and forth quite a bit before they popped off. Well, let's see. Try to pop that bottom foot out. Hopefully I can bring it down. So able to rotate it out. So I had to pop that lower foot over the lip before it would let me bring this out. There's some more wires. So I'm gonna take a picture of these so I don't forget where they go. I would recommend you do the same thing. And then yeah, they're pretty hard to get off. You gotta pull and work them back and forth a bit. Alright, got the assembly out here. Doing a little troubleshooting. Got my old fluke meter from school. Anyhow, this is the setting for continuity. And any meter, even a cheap Harbor Freight meter, will be able to do the same thing. It might not beep, but you'll be able to check for open. This one here, on that setting, it'll beep when you make continuity. So, check this one. It's got continuity. This one's got continuity. And this is the heater coil. There's no continuity. This thing is broken. So, alright, so we're going to check the new coil. Continuity just basically means that this heater spring is a solid path all the way through, and it's not open, it's not broken. The old one is obviously broken somewhere where it overheated. So, and I'm only doing this to show you guys. No real point in doing it, but can you hear it beep? So the new one's got continuity. Alright, now I'm gonna take that apart and figure out how to put this new one in there. It's already mounted, so I'm guessing it's just a few screws, and put these blade terminals through here one way or another. This has a screw also. So, alright, I'll get back with you. Alright, I can see how to open it. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws on each side. Well, no, this side only has 3. So I'm gonna open that up and separate it. Looks like you have to take off this couple screws on these sensors also, because it won't separate without that. I'm gonna go ahead and replace these. They gave me new ones. I don't know what caused the spring to overheat in the first place, so it's possible that one of these, the one that's supposed to regulate the temperature, is not operating correctly. So I'm gonna replace these while I'm at it, while I'm already in here. And there's the culprit. You see the coil is broken here. That's why it stopped heating. Man, this thing gets hot. It even cracked the metal there. So yeah, I'm replacing those 2 sensors on the outside too, because I thought this might have been touching something internally and that's what caused it to overheat, but it looks like it was mounted perfect, so I'm not really sure what caused it to overheat. I'm going to clean out my air duct, the vent air duct, make sure that's not plugged up, and replace those 2 sensors and put the new coil in. We should be back in business. Alright, the little blade terminals weren't coming out easily, so I got a closer look, and you can see that little tab right there. It's bent over to the side, locking them in there. So my needle noses are outside, so I'm going to use these little dikes to just straighten out that tab if I can. I might have to go get my other. Let's see. Maybe I can push on it with the screwdriver. It's pretty tough. Alright, obviously I already bent it enough to allow the blade to come out. So, and when you put the new one in, do the opposite. Put the blades back in and bend the little tab over so they stay in. One more note. Make sure you keep your blade terminals oriented correctly. I mean, you don't want to swap these out when you install them, then it's not going to work right. Actually, it might work right, but it's just a coil. But just try to put them back in the right position that you took them out of. Pretty straightforward. Just wanted to show you this. It's a little bit of a struggle you got to line up the holes with the new coil and get this closed and get the holes to line up. It's going to be a little bit of a fight, but just keep working at it and then you'll be able to get it done. I'm having to put it up against my knee and put quite a bit of pressure on it to get these holes to line up. Alright, see there, you gotta hold it and put the screw in it. So, not too hard, but just keep working at it. I was just verifying my part numbers are the same. This is the high limit thermostat, so I got the same part number. I was worried for a second because I seen the old one here is riveted on, and then I saw this. I was like, well, I don't have any rivets with me. But then I realized they gave me the other style also. It's already riveted in there, so should be good to go. Alright, it's all back together here. The orientation of these, whether this way or this way, I put them back the way they were based on my pictures, but it really shouldn't matter. This is a fuse, thermal fuse, so really it should work whether it was this way or this way. This is the high temperature cutoff, so same thing. This should open whenever it gets too hot and turn off the heat. Orientation shouldn't matter, but I still put it back the same way it was. So just something you want to make sure your pictures are clear enough when you're disassembling it so you know which way to put it back. It's all wired up, ready to go back in. I left the leg off because I was having a hard time getting it in there. I'm going to put it in there and then try to put the leg back on, which also make it easier to get out if you take the legs off first, which is just that one screw, and then there's a blade that goes through the bottom. So we'll see if we can get it in there easier like that. Something I got to show you. The back of that assembly, if you can see it, it actually goes in that circular hole back there, which is the exit for the dryer heat. So, there it is. See it back there. So you gotta slot this thing in like this into that hole that holds up the back end of it. Alright, it's in there. I'm gonna try to get it on this foot. Get the little blade down in the slot. There we go. So it's in there. Just got to put that screw in, the foot screw, and the screw around the back foot, and then basically be able to do the opposite of what we did when we took it apart, and your dryer will be fixed. Thanks for watching. Let me add one more little note to this video. This might have been the problem why my dryer coil overheated. So get this duct cleaner and clean out your dryer duct. So I'm sure that'll help things out.